But no, I really appreciate you coming through, my guy, the big man Joseph Allen. You know, if anyone's watching this video and don't know who you are, they live under a rock or they're kicking rocks. Because if I'm concerned, they're here to see what you have to say. You know what I'm saying? You know, I would
Okay.
already ask too how your 2020 is going through quarantine, but probably a lot better than most. You know, reality show kicked in.
Yeah, yeah. No, like honestly, the year was going pretty slow because I was supposed to be touring this year. So like that was supposed to be the goal, was like getting around and doing shows and stuff. So then once MTV reached out, I was like, yo, like that gives me something to do rather than just sit at home and make music. So yeah, no, I mean the year for a lot of people, slowed down a lot, but you can only take it with a grain of salt because it's slowed down for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so did you actually have like a tour? You had everything set up. Like, did you have venues and was
Yeah.
it like a mini? I'm assuming it was like a mini tour, like couple cities and stuff.
Nah, we were starting in Florida and then gonna work our way all the way to the West Coast.
Oh, so you're gonna come over to my side
Yep,
in
yep.
the
We
Philly
had shows
area?
in what was it, Jacksonville. Um, yeah, Jacksonville was the first show. Then we had
Mm-hmm.
Haynesville, and then yeah, we had like three shows set up in Florida, and then after that, like we were gonna hit Georgia, hit Atlanta, and everything, but it all just got
It
shut
crumbled
down.
due to COVID.
Yeah,
You know what they say: one door closes, another one opens, and MTV reaches out to you and says, "Yo, reality TV." Now, was that
exactly.
like? I mean, obviously you jumped on it, but is that like more of your thing? Like, is that comfortable for you? Like reality TV versus like doing an actual show with like a script and stuff like that, and playing a character.
Yeah, no, it was different for sure, man. It was a whole lot more different. Here, let me hit some more lights in here real quick.
Do your thing, man. Take your time. You're the star of the show. Do what you want. You can walk out here right now and be like, "All right, guys, I'm out. Good talking to you," and I'll just be like, "All right, people, you know."
There we go. But yeah, no, like going on MTV, it was like a way different world than what I was used to, man, for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, shoot, how? But I mean, America's Got Talent. You probably had the most like eyes on you at once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Compared
yeah,
to TV.
yeah,
Now,
yeah. It was definitely in terms of that whole thing. It was a lot, I guess, like slower paced in terms of like the media about it. Like with America's Got Talent, you're talking People Magazine, USA Today, Billboard, like all that stuff at one time,
yeah,
overnight. Boom. Like you are literally like, people like Oprah and stuff are, talking about it. And then, yeah, with MTV, it's a lot different of a machine. The reality TV space is way different.
now, waking up that morning for America's Got Talent, right? Obviously, I'm not going to ask you how it was to perform. You probably went out there and just did it, right? There is nothing. You just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
you go out and perform. But waking up, like, did you have like, were you full of butterflies? Like, I can't eat nothing. Like, what was your mindset? Were you thinking about 6 hours from now, I'm performing in front of millions on the biggest stage, or were you just like, oh, come when it comes?
Yeah, it's like it feels real surreal. You know what I mean? Because like there's a whole lot of cameras around. People are, all right, Mr. Allen, are you? And you're like just like, whoa, like Mr. Allen, what's good? Like so,
Yeah,
and then on top of that, like it just feels crazy because security's walking you around and all this different
escort kit,
stuff.
huh?
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of, I guess, easy for you to like get into your headspace of like, okay, yeah, like we working right now,
Yeah,
because it's like the
that
way the whole environment is set up.
Yeah, exactly. Now, watching go on. See, I'll be honest. I didn't watch the full season, right? I was
Yeah,
watching America's Got Talent through YouTube, and I would look up different things just to pass time while I'm eating. If I first saw Preacher Lawson, and since he won the Golden Buzzer, you were like the next feed up.
right, right.
They had a title that real me in. I watched your thing. I was like, this guy was genuine. He wrote a song from the heart. I was like, this dude's great. And I watched your next performance.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Simon gave you the review he gave you. I was like,
Yeah, and that's I mean on my album coming out, like I kind of shine some light on that. The original demo of that song is on the album, and I guess people will be able to see for themselves like what I was trying to do. But
yeah,
the show has to be a show, and they needed a rapper on the show, but there was a certain sound I was going for. But I mean, when I look back, it's like they kind of kids bopped You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
song up a little bit, made it, you know, something completely different than what it was supposed to be. But, you know, it's all good, you
Right,
know?
because I'm assuming everything's still going good for you. Now,
Yeah.
in that moment when you walked off the stage, was there like any regret? Because you sang that song to your mom. You know, like you told Simon, you're like, I had to. You never know when this is over. You have to take advantage of it. Did you walk off that stage with any regret? Like, maybe I should have done something different, or I'm perfectly fine with what I did.
No, I was cool because, you know, behind the scenes, like there were like contracts offered, you know, and all that different stuff. And, you know, I'd rather, you know, have gone the independent route. So because of that, like I kind of had a feeling, you know, I'm not gonna be on this show much longer, you know, based on, you know, things going on. So because of that.
You were already setting up your contingencies.
Yeah.
You knew what you want to do. Would you always want to be an independent artist, or were you at one point, did you want to have a record deal, but now your mind changed?
I don't think I ever was like, yeah, I want to get a deal. I still am in a position where it's like I'm not trying to get a deal. I'm just trying to financially, you know what I'm saying, secure myself. Like I got friends and stuff that, you know, like in the YouTube space, all that stuff. Like, for example, I got a homie, Danny Duncan. He's like one of the biggest YouTubers like in the game. And he has this whole clothing brand called Virginity Rocks, right?
Yep.
But as we talk about the numbers and stuff, like homie breaks it down where he pulls in $1 million a month, you know what I'm saying, off of a brand that he's built. So for me, it's like, no, like the financials are there if you're willing to put the work in, you know? So the only thing is you got to be willing to keep going. And then when you don't want to go anymore, just keep going until it breaks through. And then once it breaks through, it's like, all right, you never need it, you know, all this other stuff. So the labels and, you know, things like that help you like microwave the process, get there a lot faster. But that's not my end goal. My end goal isn't fame. Like I'm not trying to just be this dude where it's like a whole lot of people like know who I am and stuff. Like my end goal is, you know, to take care of my future wife and kids. So my whole thing is just setting up the game the right way, you know?
Yes, sir. See, my favorite rappers, I only listen to really two, Hobson and Joyner Lucas. They're both independent. And then Hobson said in one of his interviews, you know, going independent is one of the best way. And for you to be an independent artist, you find more success in making singles versus just putting out album after album after album. Now, I know you have about like 18 singles out.
Yeah.
How do you see your fluctuation in your singles, you know? Like how do you base on when you post stuff and how you create like versus your analytics? You get what I'm saying? Like you put one out sounds this way. Okay, now I know I need to put one out sounds this way. Like how does that process work for you?
Yeah, so for me, I put out all these singles this year, right, 2020. And the reason I did that was because I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna do this whole independent thing, like I need to like get better at the mixing, the engineering, the mastering, like all the jobs that are necessary at a label sound wise. You know what I mean? Like sonically wise.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I knew I wasn't up to par. You know, I was like, I can get lucky sometimes, but I was like, I need to get consistent.
Yeah.
So I just did that until I felt like it was good enough. And then once I put out enough songs and I learned enough and started like having people listen, and people would always start saying the same thing. They're like, yo, like if this was on the radio, like I wouldn't have known the difference. And that's when I was like, all right, cool. Like we got it down now. So it was just a learning process, especially since the whole world got shut down. I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna take advantage of this. I'm gonna grow in my skills. And then now it's like on this album, you know, I know sonically it's able to compete with the label. So now it's just, all right, now focus on the back end, the marketing, all of that different stuff. Get your stuff out there, you know?
Exactly. Now, when you listen to your stuff, right, I've had a few artists that come on and they're trying to make their own way as you are, right? As you are. Right. Now, I'm not going to say like what's your biggest advice to them, but because you do all your own mixing, correct? We'll get that out the way first. You do all your own mixing. Right, you do everything from everything. It's all you. There's no other person working behind.
Yeah, I don't like other people touching this stuff.
I love to hear that. So you kind of use your own software. Do you have any coordination as to what you use setup wise? So
So I put everything through Logic Pro X. That's what I use for like my DAW, and from there, I mean, in terms of plugins and stuff, I just got real knowledgeable with Waves plugins and this company, Slate Digital. They provide like everything I need basically. And I got my whole studio set up, you know what I'm saying, right here where this is where it all goes down. You know,
Awesome.
I got my Yamaha HS8 speakers and stuff, studio monitors. I got everything necessary to where it's like I can compete. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, as far as competing, when you're competing in your local area, do you have like any avenues of getting your songs on the stations by yourself as like far as like local stations? Would that be like anything in your interest, or is it kind of just I'll put it out on social media and gravitate that way?
Yeah. The latter. That's what I do. I put it out there, and then I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what are y'all gonna do with it? Because it's on you guys, you know.
Yeah.
So, but DJ Khaled said like you can't hide like a hit song. You can't hide hit records. So the thing is, I got to make sure the music's good enough, and then from there, it's like, all right,
And
y'all
I
do
think
some
you're getting progressively better because the song, what does it mean?
Yeah.
Right? What does it mean to try and love somebody?
Yeah. Exactly.
My favorite song. My favorite song. As a matter of fact, I was telling my boss because when you messaged me back, I was super hyped. I was like, oh, I was working with him. I was like, oh, he messaged back. He's like, what did he say?
Yeah.
I was like, he said, let's Friday. He said, Friday, we could do it. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, man, we got to listen to some of his music. I was like, dude, I already had like 3 songs ready for you to play. But
Yeah.
he's like, nah, he don't listen to me at all. And he puts the first song on, he puts, what does it mean? And I was like, that was one of my songs I was going to show him. I was going to show him, what does it mean, Blueprint, the coronavirus freestyle,
Yeah.
the mistletoe remix. I was like, all right. And he just listened to it for like every day. And I think he sent you a DM too. I'm not sure.
Dang, that's crazy.
Dude, he like loves it. I was like, this guy's slowly, progressively getting better. And I wanted to know your judging process on your music, right?
Yeah.
You're your own artist. There is no one else controlling. We just established that. How do you point out what needs to be fixed and how does it get better? Because your sound is not changing. It's getting changed, but you're progressively getting better.
Yeah.
I just hear it.
So what I do now is on Fridays and Saturdays, I don't do it now as much, but usually on Fridays and Saturdays in the album process, I live here in Austin. It's close to the University of Texas. I'll Uber at UT, and I'll drive around. When people get in the car, I'll ask them, you know what I'm saying, what is it you like to listen to? I'll have them play music, and then I'll throw my music in there, and I'll be like, what are your thoughts on this? If it didn't match up, all right, I got more work to do. And if it's lining up, then I know it's sounding good. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. So you Uber, you're driving around.
Yup.
People in the car don't know it's you?
Sometimes they would. Sometimes, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? I just play it real low. Yo, what's going on? What you guys getting into tonight? And Fridays and Saturday nights are when people are going out to party. So because of that, it's like they automatically want loud music. They want, and I get to hear, okay, what is it that everybody's like gravitating towards right now? Or I'll play stuff that I think is hot, and they'll be like, yo, I haven't heard this. Or I'll play stuff, and they'll be like, yeah, that's cool, but we trying to listen to this. And then I'll get put on. I'll be like, oh, okay. And then I'll see how everyone in the car starts reacting to the song. And I'm like, and then I'll look at the applied psychology. I'll be like, okay, like the girls are liking this song because the guys are liking this song because. And then I'll be like, all right, cool. And then Sunday, you know what I'm saying? I'm in here and I'm thinking about all that stuff. And then I get to work. Oh, shoot, the bass on this track, the track has to bounce like this in order to make people feel like that. You know, all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so you pay attention to every little detail. You observe it like you.
Yeah.
I just take it, mold it, execute it.
Yeah.
That's insane. No, I never knew you were an Uber driver. People hop in your car and you just start playing your music. That's such a smart way to do it.
Right. You gotta hustle. Plus it's a cool social aspect, man. Like it was something to where I got to meet people, but on top of that, like, I mean, for the most part, man, like I would only Uber around for a little bit. Then after that, people would be like, yo, we're going to a house party. You should come. Or we're going here. You should come. And I'll be like, all right, cool. And I would like just study like everything, man. Study it all. Cause these are the people who I'm trying to influence. But then on top of that, it's starting to plug me into that, what is it? Environment or ecosystem. It's plugging me into UT's ecosystem. So now when this album comes out, there's people who have already heard tracks off the album. There's a decent amount of UT students who have heard tracks off the album. Yeah. So now that I'm promoting the album, they've already been like, oh, nah, like we can't wait for this project to come out because we like this song or we like that song, which will spread it there. Like it's all a hustle, man.
And it'll burn like a wildflower or a flower.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. That's insane. Because I wanted to ask you, like, how fast did life change for you after hopping off stage of America's Got Talent? Was it took some time, or off the bat, everyone acted like they knew who you were, or they knew everything about you? Like, do you get that now? People are like, oh, Joseph Allen, he's so-and-so years old from this age. Like, they pretend like that?
Yeah, like people, oftentimes, like at Walmarts and stuff like that, like people will recognize me and stuff. But I mean, in terms of things changing, it took a couple months after the episode aired for things to like really like, I guess, start to get into a groove for me, because there's contracts you sign on the show where like you can't do like paid posts on Instagram. You can't like, there's a lot of ways you can't monetize. I couldn't even put out music for like 8 months or something like that. Like, so it just really made it hard, because I wanted to put footprints out what I did on the show the moment I performed it, but I couldn't. I had to wait, you know what I'm saying, for certain contracts to die out and things like that. So monetarily wise, like I was just surviving off of music that I made in college. Really, that's it. And then, which was like nothing, man. And then like I'm talking, dude, I probably had like a guarantee of like $300 coming in a month. That was it at that point in time. Like it was just like $300, and it's like I'm living in a duplex that my aunt's getting renovated, so I didn't have to pay rent or anything. So that was good. But the $300 every month would either go to like groceries and like parking out in LA. You know what I'm saying? Because while you're out there, you got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like $3, $5 for parking, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just taking that time making connections, connecting with the boys at Yes Theory on YouTube, connecting with just different people who could like help me learn, you know what I'm saying, like how to navigate and stuff. And then it wasn't until the television royalties started to kick in. That's when like thousands of dollars would start to come in, and that's where it was like, all right, cool. Like now I can, you know, watch how I move. So that's when I decided like LA was cool, but in terms of like finances, I was like, man, I'm not trying to like stay out here, and like I would have had like a little bit of a struggle going on in LA. I was like, if I move to Austin, I'm living like a king. So I moved out here to Austin, got to work on, you know what I'm saying, the music stuff. And I was like, I'm going to take a year and just like get good at the craft. And now an album's coming out of it, you know?
Bro, that's awesome. I love to hear those type of stories, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, that's what the podcast is about, right? You have somebody who's trying to do something and try to platform their story as they move up. And like stuff like that is what I love hearing, because you are a person that deserves everything that's coming your way. That's why I gravitate so much to you and Preacher Lawson. You guys are like the only people I would rewatch clips of. I would just rewatch the YouTube clips of his comedy sketches and your music, because I'm like, these guys are genuine. They're pure. You remind me in the sense of your music almost like Will Smith back when he made music, because it was more clean.
And that's actually our business model. Me and my team, our business model is a Will Smith business model. We're using the music as a way to create, you know what I'm saying, like leverage, create exposure and stuff. And then from there, we're branching it out to multiple different things. So no, that's real dope that you say that.
Yeah, I try to see what I can find in someone's music, right? What can I relate to? And you remind me so much of Will Smith, between the person you are as a good, genuine person that I know of, right? Obviously, we know each other, but I don't know it. And then your music, it's clean, it's family oriented, right? It's not like in any way. I'm like, and this can go for anybody. And it's not bad enough to play at parties. You can go anywhere with this. And I was like, this is amazing. And then you have your own brand on top of that, Attempt Impossible.
Yes, sir. We're actually rebranding that right now to take it to even the next level, man.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is perfect. This is someone who's not forgetting where they came from. They hit a stage, right? They got a platform. They have eyes on them. They're still remembering the little people. They're still remembering everyone else around them, right? And I'm like, this is awesome. This is amazing. So like I was looking at your Attempt Impossible page, right? You know, you have your quotes up there. You have your brand up there, and obviously you're trying to promote people. You're trying to not promote. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Inspire.
Inspire. Great word. Inspire people to do what they want, right? That nothing's impossible as long as you try. How did that brand come about? Was that something after AGT, or did you have that years ago in the back of your mind?
Nah, it came about after AGT, because I was like, man, I don't want to do merch. Like, I don't want to do like just my face on a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I was like, yo, like, I really want to create a brand. And then my brain started turning, and I was like, yo, I can create a brand like Under Armour or like Nike, like something where it like can sponsor like marathons or like sponsor athletes, you know, like all that stuff. I'm like, what's that brand gonna be? And I was just like, yo, attempt impossible. Cause I was like, everything I be trying to do, like people will say like, that's impossible until it isn't, you know? But I think I just came up with a better slogan the other day when I was going for a run, which is something like, there's always a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's like a really smooth cut, like little phrase that I think really like, I feel like it's the just do it for attempt impossible. There's always a way. And I feel like that settles into anything people are trying to do, right? Like sometimes you feel like your back's against the wall and it's like like even with this, right? Like your homie was like, yo, give it a shot. Hey, there's always a way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm trying to get people to recognize, you know, cause that's my like that's my like driving like purpose in life. Like every person should find like a core like thing that it is they want to do in life that's very straightforward. Boom, this is it. And then everything else should branch around that. So my biggest thing is inspiring like the next generation of dreamers, right? Like that's my core purpose. No matter what I'm doing, that should be the end goal, inspiring the next generation of dreamers. So that's why even on this MTV Challenge show, like even when I'm there, like I'm making sure I'm not drinking. I'm making sure even though, you know, the door is wide open, make sure I'm not hooking up like on television and looking some type of way and stuff. Cause it's like, I know what my core purpose is. And then on top of that, the grand prize is $1 million. But like I told you, my homie Danny Duncan, off of his personal brand, makes that every 30 days. So I'm like, yo, like regardless, like I get it. The grand prize is $1 million, but that doesn't mean I got to change who I am, you know, to try and like,
Right. And I noticed that because watching that first episode, there was they showed a scene, I guess it was a club or like a little club like atmosphere, and you were just chilling on the couch. You know, you was on the couch, like, no, I don't want to get up. I was like, he's the only one that's not interacting in this environment at all. There is no drink by him. There is no nothing. You know, he has his pillow and he's cozy. And that was you maintaining your image?
Right, because I think I always think of the finish line, man. Like a lot of people like live in the moment, but I always think finish line and then I build everything else up to that. So for example, with the song on America's Got Talent, right? My finish line was golden buzzer. So because of that, now I know that I need to structure everything for the race. So that's why the first line when I start rapping, right? There's more to it. When I say everybody backstage, don't be scared because up close, Simon looks just like a teddy bear. When I say that, why am I saying that? Well, because Simon Cowell is known to be an aggressive judge. He's known to be the type of guy who shuts people down. Now, if you give someone a role, right? Like let's say you're hanging out with your friends, okay? And let's say while you're hanging out with your friends, you introduce your homie Bobby and you're like, yo guys, this is Bobby. This dude is hilarious, bro. This dude has me rolling. Right. Bobby's most likely going to start cracking jokes at the table because he has this role to live up to. Bobby might be the corniest dude you know, but because you've introduced him as one of the funniest guys you know, he's going to try and live into that. People don't like to not be consistent with how they're viewed, right? So
that makes sense. I like that.
Right. So that's why when it starts off, like, boom, I take care of that. Simon looks just like a teddy bear. Well, if you fast forward to the end of my song, Simon says, I love you 3 times. That's not by accident, right? But then also, I need to make people at home, people like you, feel something. Because this crowd only has 2,000 and some change. There's millions of people that are viewing this behind the screen. So that's why you have the line, do you feel me? I'm addressing the crowd. The next line, America, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I find these different things. So when you live life where you know what your end goal is, it allows you to structure everything else to line up with that. So because I'm always thinking like, okay, around like, I'm 23 now, around like 26, 27, maybe 28, I want to be taking a step back from having to be on cameras and stuff because my end goal is my kids come up to me. They want to go to Disneyland to celebrate their 8th birthday. I'm able to provide that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then on top of that, if that's my end goal, are you able to provide that if you're super duper famous, right? It's like, maybe, but your kids might get pissed off because people are constantly begging for your attention and stuff. So you have to figure out how do you carry yourself, you know, along. But then on top of that, if my end goal is also to make sure I'm continuing to inspire the next generation of dreamers, if I'm 30 years old and I'm at a university giving a public speaking engagement, what do I look like trying to inspire you? And then homie in the crowd says, yeah, but you remember that one time you smashed Shorty in the bathroom on that one TV show? It's like, whoa, like that doesn't line up. you know what I'm saying, with what it is I'm doing. So I always think like real long term. And some people, like even on the show, they'd be like, oh man, like he really played himself. But it's like, y'all just don't see my finish line. Y'all don't see what it is. Y'all don't see what it is I'm building, you know?
They see that in moment, and they're, you know, a lot of them probably came to watch the show just to see you, and then they're like, oh, he's eliminated. Like, what he's
Yeah.
doing? But there's a meaning and purpose behind everything. You know, in life, doors, there's certain doors you walk down the hallway, right? There's many doors throughout this way. You open one of them, you stay by that fire, and you go to the next one. And this was like that time. You walked in, and it was time to move on to the next. You didn't get trapped in that cycle. Dude,
Exactly.
I love that. That's incredible. I mean, I've never, almost I never had that outlook. I've always thought future. I'm always paranoid about like being financially stable and stuff like that. But I've never worried like on that level. Like that's super smart.
Right.
How did you learn that? That was Mama Dukes, wasn't it? That's all Mama Dukes right there?
Nah. So I grew up, you know what I'm saying? I said it on AGT where like I grew up like in a blended family and everything. Let me see here. So because of that, you know, like around the time I was in middle school, if I didn't show up at my dad's house, he just assumed I was at my mom's house and vice versa. So like a week could go by where I just kick it with like a friend.
Yeah.
And like I might get a text message from like my mom or my dad saying like, hey, yo, we miss you over here. You should come over to this house, you know, hang out. Cause it was never like on a strict, like you're this day's at your mom's, you're this day's at your dad. My parents were just like, all right, cool. Like we'll split the responsibility. And luckily enough, like I wasn't a super bad kid for them to be like, yo, we need to, you know what I'm saying, put a tightrope on this kid. So because I had all of that freedom from a young age, I had to trust my own decisions at a super young age because I kept seeing like, okay, like I'm not dead yet. I'm not getting myself in like really any trouble. So it was like, by the time like I was in high school, like if I was going to like a high school party or something like that, it was so weird for me because I would be at this high school party and I would be surrounded around like kids my age that are just now experiencing that level of freedom, right?
Yeah.
When by the time I had a car my freshman year or freshman or sophomore year, whenever I got a car, by the time I had a car, dude, there'd be some nights where like I was working at Discount Tire. I would work, I would go to Walmart, I would get like some food from Walmart, and I'd just be like eating in my car, wondering like, dang, what house do I go to today? And then sometimes I would fall asleep. I would just fall asleep in my car, wake up. Yes, bro, in the parking lot of a Walmart. Wake up the next, like wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and be like, oh shoot, and then I would literally just decide like, okay, like which house has the clothes that I'm trying to wear at school today, and then I'll just drive to that house. I'll put on whatever outfit I was trying to put on, and then show up at school. Like there was no question to it. So I had a lot of freedom at a very young age. So imagine, you know, you go to a house party or something like that. And when you go to the party, imagine the best way I can say it is it's like I've always had the option to put my hands into the cookie jar, right? Always. So there came a point where I was just like, yo, like I'm really just not feeling cookies like that, you know? But imagine being surrounded around people that are just now getting a look at the cookie jar and you see them going, yo, let me get some cookies and stuff. And you're just like, yo, this is kind of strange. So that's how like alcohol, like drugs, all that stuff was like when it was getting introduced to everybody. I'm like, yo, like I've already made up my mind. Like that ain't me. So it advanced my thought process to the way where I like constantly would be thinking like, yo, who am I going to be? Because like I had no one telling me I couldn't be anything. Like racing motocross growing up, no one in my family did that. That was something that I literally saw on television. And I was just like, all right, that's me. And at like 13 or 14, I started a lawnmower company called Joe's Mows. And I was just I started a lawnmower company called Joe's Mows, and I was just going around cutting grass. And I funded my whole motocross dream myself and ended up getting sponsored and like literally became ranked like 13th in the nation by the time I was 14. So that showed me like, imagine you have all the freedom in the world. You're a kid. And then on top of that, you're achieving like what you see in your head. It makes it to where it's like, no matter what, like I didn't start doing music until I went to college, bro. Yeah. My freshman year of college, I didn't bring my dirt bike and I had an identity crisis. And I was just like, what the freak am I going to do? And I wanted to rush. That's it. And they had like a talent show on campus. And I literally showed up to the talent show. I wrote a song in my dorm room because I was like, if I perform a song, oh yeah, I've been doing that my whole life, singing Sam Smith songs or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't be rapping like that. So I wrote a song like about campus. And I was like, if I perform this, like, it's going to give me a rush because, like, I'm going to have to remember the words. I'm going to have to try and perform it in a way to where the students go crazy. And when I performed the song, everybody went crazy, and they came up to me afterwards like, yo, where can I find the song? And I'm asking them, like, what are you talking about? Where can you find the song? I just performed it.
Just performed it, right?
Yeah. And they're like, nah, like, where can I stream it? I was like, oh, word? Bro, that was my freshman year of college, right? Mm-hmm. When I found out that people wanted to hear more music, when I left and came back to Texas my freshman year, in between my freshman and sophomore year, I went back to Discount Tire. I worked all summer, saved up like $5,000 and bought everything to build my own studio. When I went back to school my sophomore year, I taught myself how to play piano. I taught myself how to produce, mix, engineer, everything, and didn't go to class for the first 2 months of school. After that, I dropped the album in October. We went back in August. I dropped the album October 4th. Dropped it for the students. The students bought it and went crazy. And from that moment forward, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
This is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like no one kind of gave you a nudge, like, yo, you're good at this, go do it. It was, I'm going to do this because it gives me a rush. And I'm going to try and substitute this where I'm comfortable with what I know. But because I don't know this, I'm going to do it, so it's new, it'll give me a rush, give me an adrenaline boost that can relate to that. And after that, it took off.
Yep.
Now, off that, I do have a question for you.
Go for it.
Oh, not everyone knows this, because I don't really tell everybody everything, but I went on stage with Hobson. He had a Savage Hill concert. I went on stage to sing a song with him. I completely was so far off beat. I saw the crowd, I heard the beat, and I got to the point where I didn't know the words or what I was supposed to say. So when I remember the words, I shot them out at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. It's on YouTube. Looking back, it's awesome because you go on stage, right? For you as an artist, going into a crowd, walking, for example, we'll do AGT, your biggest stage, right? Obviously, there's a mindset. I believe that every artist has this, you just got to go do it, go get it done.
Yeah.
But for you, how are you, feeling that beat, hearing that so you can like stay on tune? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Nah, actually the crowd got so loud first time I performed the song that the speakers in front of me, I couldn't even hear them. So I'm like yelling into the mic. I kid you not, bro. This is like classified information. They had me come out and perform the song a second time because they were like, yo, the crowd was so loud. We don't even think your microphone picked up like clean audio. Yeah.
What I see on YouTube is your second take?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Crowd was so lit first time. Like, yo, I thought they were gonna rush up on the stage, bro. Because when I started rapping and the place starts shaking like with the bass and stuff, everybody going crazy. And it's to the point where I almost stopped because I'm like, I can't hear nothing. I couldn't even. The only reason I knew where I was at in the track was because of how many times I practiced it, and because on the floor, like I could feel the bass, like the kick drum coming through on the floor. So because of that, like I almost stopped, and then I was just like, man, forget it. Like they clearly know where I'm coming from, and I just start going off with it, boom, 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 and they were like, yes, we need you to go back out there and perform the song again.
Wow. So
just off the energy, I got the golden buzzer. After all that, after they sweep the floor and everything, they're like, Joseph, it was great, but perform it one more time to where we can make sure we have audio to put on television, because it was that lit, bro. It was 10 times crazier than what people saw.
What? So that's how the judges knew you had your like, I believe they said your school, right? Some of your student, like classmates from school in the backseat, everyone hops up, going, yeah! Like that's us. Because so the first time you went out there, they got buck wild and like let loose and set the place off.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
I was like, this man has a dream. He looked Terry Crews right in the eyes and he said, you come lift me up on stage. Or Terry asked you a question. You said, I want you to just come pick me up when I get that golden buzzer. It's almost like you knew you were going to get the golden buzzer.
That's that whole finish line thing I was telling you about, man. It's like, make up definitely in your mind what it is you want. Bro, the world has to give it to you. It has to. As long as a man, like we're going to get biblical, man. Like, the Bible literally says at the beginning that God says, let's create man in our image, right? Yeah. But what the freak does that mean, bro? Like, what does that mean? Well, when you look at it, let's look at what we see before he says that.
Yeah.
First, he says, all right, let there be light. Boom. Everything gets started. Then he says, all right, it's good. Then from there, he says, all right, let there, you know what I'm saying, be grass. Boom, it's good. All right, let's put fish in the water. All right, it's good. And he's saying it, and then afterwards, he's like, all right, it's good. And then he creates humans, and he's like, all right, yeah, it's very good. That's the only time he says it's very good. But what does that mean in his image? Maybe it means we are created in the same way where if there's a road near where you live, that road is there because somebody said, let's put a road here. They got to work, and the only way, when they only stopped when they said, all right, it's good. Then they moved on. We are created in that image. So all you have to do is say, all right, this is what we're going to do. And then put your hands to it.
Yeah.
Get to work. And then don't stop until you look back and you're like, all right, it's good. It took me 5 years to get on America's Got Talent.
So I was going to say, I wanted to ask you earlier, you were applying, like you set applications into the show for probably time on end.
I was showing up. I was putting feet on the ground. I was there.
Really?
I was showing up.
You're manifesting everything. Manifestation, huge.
Right. That's the term we give it, but it's like, that is literally life. Like, that's how you were created. You were created in an image where it's like, whatever it is you want in life, first it starts with a thought, like you and the podcast, right? Like first it had to start with you going, let's see how this whole podcast thing goes. Then you put your hands to it. That's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, put my hands to it.
And then all that happens is you just take it to a point where you finally say it's good. You look at Conor McGregor, he never says it's good until, you know what I'm saying, you hit a certain level. Like everyone's it's good is at a different point. That's what separates the greats from like whatever. But if you put your it's good right here, that's as high as you're going to reach. Boom. You put it even higher, that's as high as you're going to reach. But you got to make up in your mind what it is you want.
That's wild. I never had that outlook on it. I've never been told, like, you know, related to God in the sense of building it. You say it's going to get done. It's how it's made. And that's right. It's made the same way. Hey, you ever thought of being a motivational speaker?
Yes, bro.
Touring around, walking around, hopping on stage.
That's a part of my finish line, man. That's what I was doing before the world got shut down. I was out in Nebraska. I was about to head out to Seattle. Like, man, that's part of my plan, bro. Inspire the next generation of dreamers. I could do that in many different outlets, but I already said it, right? Like I said what is mine. So then I'm only gonna stop once I look around and be like, all right, it's good. But until then, put my hands to it.
That's literally why this conversation is happening. That's literally why. Only reason because, you know, I feel everyone has a dream in life, right? Everyone's good at something. But, you know, growing up in school, you may not be comfortable showing that talent in school or to people because you might get made fun of, or it's not deemed as cool at the time, or you're scared how people are going to receive it, or you're scared to get criticized and get rejections and stuff like that. So everyone keeps everything dormant until it comes out. But it's people like you that go out and do it, that create something raw from scratch, your own talent that you create from your soul and put it out there. And people like you that make it, that kind of say, hey, the people like me and all others around, I could do the same thing. He can do it, I can do it. You know, I can create it. And then impossible is another thing to keep moving forward. How can people follow that? Like besides just going on Instagram and stuff, like is there like a pages, you know?
Yeah, like I said, we're rebranding, you know what I'm saying, Attempt Impossible a little bit. We're trying to figure out the community of it, right? Like how do we make sure it's not just, you know what I'm saying, go buy some clothes. We want to make sure it's something where it's like it means, you know, a lot to each person who's invested into it. You know what I mean? So because that's why I haven't been promoting it a lot lately, because I'm not at the it's good right now. You know what I mean?
It's just rebranded.
So I got to rebrand it until I look at it and say it's good. And then after that, it's like, all right.
And then when I see an Instagram post, I'm like, it's good.
It's good. Exactly.
I'm down there. I'll be like, it's good.
Exactly, bro.
That's incredible. That's awesome. So as of right now, within your community, is there like I don't want to say like a little organization, but do you guys do like little things where you can like set up shop to like help people grow in a sense? You know what I'm saying? Like I saw in your story, you said about helping the less fortunate, right?
Right. That's something actually that I'm working on right now. I went out. Austin has a big homeless community. I got to make a post about that tomorrow. I'm trying to start a GoFundMe to where for Christmas, if we're able to raise a certain amount of money, we'll provide like food for them. If we're able to surpass that amount, provide food, tents for them. If we're able to surpass that, we got food, tents, clothing, you know what I'm saying? Like just trying to see what it is we could do. Be out here attempting the impossible, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is a team that you built, like you created, so like people like your homeboys or maybe some family members like go out and just do this.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And these people have been there since before the AGT stuff and before the following was like coming up, so their intentions are just as true as yours.
Yeah.
Not just to be there to be like, oh yeah, I'm with Joseph Allen right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's awesome. Building your own community from within. That's exactly why you're here.
Yes,
You're teaching me. Right now, this is what I love. When I get to talk to somebody, but they get to teach me as much. See, I want to know more about you and talk to you, but now you teach me just as much that I'll go off someday, not someday, probably tomorrow, and probably say something you told me about here on to them.
Yeah. Hey, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
Now, as far as like music creating, right? I want to ask this on behalf of artists I've had on the show previously, like hashtag Elevated, you saw an Arcane, stuff like that. When it comes to finding your own sound, how do you determine what sound is yours? All right, this is the flow I want for most of my music. How do you, as an artist, find that?
I think it has to come. I think it has to find you per se. So like, if you're working really hard to put a song together, it's not. You haven't found your sound yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to. The best songs I've ever made are the ones where I like write them or get them done in like less than an hour, man. Where it's just like it just flows out naturally, because it's almost like when you're conversating with someone. It's like when you're trying to talk to a girl. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're trying to approach, but you're like trying to think everything through and all that, it just doesn't. That ain't it. But when it's like you even in the back of your head, like, damn, like how is this going so good? Like how's this flowing so naturally?
Right.
That's when it's like, I think it's the one. You know what I mean?
And that's how your song comes out almost like that conversation.
Right.
As soon as it does.
Right.
Now,
No effort.
Is there people you actually write your songs about? Or do you kind of write off of what you hear from other people?
It's like a collection. It's like a collection. It might be inspired off something I saw in a movie. You know what I mean? Like it's all just like life experiences, things I've heard in the past, things I've heard from other songs, like all this different stuff, like just, come around. Sometimes it's just imagination. I got a freestyle on the album that's you know what I'm saying? I think imagination played a big part in that one.
So I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm like, all right, that's his imagination piece. So I remember when Jordan Lucas made his song "I'm Sorry," I believe in an interview he said, I never felt suicidal or anything like that, but I found a lot of people and heard a lot of stories that I thought I knew enough to make a song. So I wanted to ask, like, does that change the emotion that's behind the song? Like, if you were to write a love song for a girl, you're gonna have so much emotion because you're really feeling that. But if you're writing a song about love just off of what you heard and stuff, does that change like the emotion of the song?
It's art, man. So it's like when you see, let's bring up Will Smith. Like if you see him in a movie, like you feel it. But the thing is, you have to take yourself there. So if you're writing a song about whatever it may be, if you're not taking yourself there, it's not gonna come off the right way. Jordan Lucas with the song about suicide, like, yeah, he might have never been through it, but he had to put himself in that position. Yeah.
Okay,
right?
You could paint that picture. So it's all about establishing yourself and putting yourself in their shoes, whether you feel it or not.
Right. It's almost like a branch form of acting, or it's like method acting, where it's like communication. Like music is the only thing that can like infiltrate someone's heart without their permission. You could hear a shorty singing on an opera song in a language you don't even understand, but mess around, have tears rolling down your face because she coming correct with it. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with the music, man. Like if you don't feel it, if it's not coming from a genuine place, people will be able to sense that through the tone of your voice. So,
Now, coming out now, Blue Collar, what's like some of the most exciting things you want people to point out from that album, right? Like certain tracks might have certain messages or certain meanings. Is there any certain things you have
Yeah,
drawn?
yeah. I don't know, because the whole collection of the Footprints album is like it's different sounds like all through it. So I think the biggest thing I want is for it to just have something in there for everybody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like just something in there that can be for anybody. That was the goal of this project, was to be versatile enough to where anybody could hit like shuffle play and find a song that, you know, is for them.
Right, and it could be any songs. Like you go on Spotify, shuffle. All right, this song, no matter what it is going to hit that person.
Right.
Now, speaking of versatility, do we see Joseph being some type of like Bruno Mars type of guy, where during his concert we're going to see him rock out the instrument, dancing and singing all in one?
Yeah, man, you got a whole plethora of different styles in this project, man. You got the nonstop rapping, where it's like you got rapping where it's like there's no hook. It's literally just bar after bar after bar after bar. You got singing where it's like on some like Ed Sheeran, Sam Smith, like no rapping whatsoever. You got the songs with the rapping and the singing. You got the songs that are just ballads, no kick drum, just piano and stuff. You got the songs where it's like, yeah, man, you got everything on this project.
Dude, that's awesome. Now, obviously, you're not worried about what people might think of. Oh, this is like not. I guess you would say organized in a sense, right? It's not following one particular pattern. Nah, you have rap, R&B, everything all mixed in one. You don't see a lot of artists doing that. You know,
yeah, nah.
listen to a Bruno Mars album, I'm gonna get that same type of flow through all his songs.
Right, and I feel like that's just a testament to like my artistry, where it's like even on America's Got Talent, like on the first song I performed, like I like being like unpredictable. That's a part of my art. Is like you don't know what you're about to get. Like if I'm singing right now, that don't mean you could just be comfortable and sit right here. Like I'm finna turn up on you, and then I could bring it right back down. You know, like so. You know, that's something that I think is gonna really showcase. You know, on this project, where it's like, hey, you know, we dancing around with it in all different areas.
And that's a good.
It's like a playlist, really.
And that's a great point you brought, because in Footprint, you know, you drop the beat there like, America, can you hear me? This man, this young man is out here chasing dreams. Can you see that clear? And then the chorus slows back down. But there was parts where you elevated back up and then we're right back down with the chorus.
Right.
And another thing I noticed is you don't do features. This is all strictly you. There's one song I think I found with a Isabel Inman or
Yeah. She went to my college, man. She was like the best singer on campus, and I believed in her. So I told her, I was like, look, if I ever blow up, like I want to have a track with you, so that way moments like that can happen where people see your name. You know, it's all about finish line, bruh, and it proves it works. You know,
well, it's proving it works.
Yeah,
it really is, because now I know who that person is. Well, I know of them, right? I haven't met them.
Right.
I know them. I'm like, oh, I know he's never done a feature, but since he doesn't, also it sticks out when there is that one.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know if you want to do a feature down the line or who you might have on. It's not about going and finding an artist like, yo, JT, come, let me try and get him a tag. No. I will find someone who lives next door. If they're that good, they can earn a spot on the song.
Right.
That's incredible. Because I was like, wow, I'm looking through your Spotify, listening to some of your songs, listening to some of your music. I'm like, this man is not associating with nobody. Reminded me of Cole, how he really doesn't do features that often. Right?
Yeah.
Bruno Mars' last album, no features.
Yeah.
And you, no features, are still doing it. It's still great sound, still great quality. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He doesn't let, like you said earlier, no one gets hands-on their project.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Do you get like samples? Like, do people like hit your Instagram and try to email you, yo, here's like a demo verse, like peep it, or try and get on a track or something?
I think it's mostly producers. Because it's like that's the one area where sometimes I do like try and outsource. There's this website called Splice where it has like samples, it has like drum pockets and stuff. So sometimes I'll hit Boy Wonder on Splice, grab some of his drums and stuff, use those in my production, like all that stuff. So it's sometimes I'm producing tracks like homie who produced the Thriller album for Michael Jackson, where it's like he didn't play like a single instrument on the album, but he like organized everything, like DJ Khaled, right? Like DJ Khaled's not like hitting the drums and stuff, but he'll like put everything in position, get the right artists on the track and stuff, and rock out from there. So, you know, it's a whole process, man.
Dude, that's incredible. Your own flow, your own talent, your own design, there's no one in the way. It's strictly you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I find it hard to believe, but I find that like more and so amazing, because if I go and talk to someone tomorrow or talk to previous artists I had on the show, there's always someone behind the scenes. They have a mixer, they have a producer, they have someone that they give their music to and let it mix around. And,
yeah.
It's you.
Yeah. Literally all right here. Right here, man. It all happens right here.
You know, that's insane, dude. That's wild. I give you 100% props. You 100% deserve everything that is coming your way. And those are the reasons why. It's those nitty-gritty details. You know, it's almost like being a contractor. You know, you see something. It's like, it's not right. Other people who have that security, as if, for example, if you're an artist stuck to a label, you have security in a sense. You have that contract. If you're an independent contractor, you don't have nothing. This is you. You have to make sure it's right. I'll adjust the frame as though opposed to somebody else with another company. They might leave it because they know the homeowners won't notice it. But as a contractor, I notice that you as a musician, you see those things, you see those details, you fix it, you keen on it, and you perfect it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. As far as 2021, because I don't want to take too much more of your time, what can people expect from you in 2021 for the rest of, not even this year, because I'm not a fan of saying, yo, this year's going to be my year. 2020 is the birth of a new decade. What can fans expect from Joseph Allen through the 2020 decade?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? At the start of next year, I'm going to move out to Arizona. My boy Parker, who actually shot this music video that premiered today, we're going to get a place together. We're going to go hard for 12 months. Make sure the quality control is there for all the media and stuff that's coming out. And then, just continue to, get out there, start doing some shows once the world, allows it, and just, keep the whole entrepreneur hustle going up. Attempt Impossible is going to be a very, very solid brand early in this decade, very early. Within the next year or two, it's going to be, what I need it to be in terms of inspiring people. And, I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe to get my hands on a camper van and then build a studio on the inside of it and then drive around the country and make songs and stuff with fans and stuff. I feel like that'd be a sick idea, but we're gonna see.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm telling you right now, dude, you have my full 100%. GoFundMe, I'll be on it. As soon as I saw you, and like I said, you and Preacher were the first two people I ever took away from. I ever grew all right, I'm gonna follow these people on social media and just watch them. Because there's people like you that deserve it, bro. Honestly, they really do. Now, is there anything else you want anyone to know before we let you go for the day?
That is easy. And if anybody's, on here trying to get some inspiration or whatever, just know that whatever you're trying to do is easy. That's the biggest thing. Everybody tries to tell you that what you're trying to do is hard, but it's really not. In terms of you and this podcast, right? Technically there's work that has to go into it. But if you want to have, if not the biggest podcast in the world, it's that simple. Get the biggest podcast in the world. It's literally like that, So with me, with America's Got Talent, right? 5 years to get on, but it was easy. Once you make your mind up, all you have to do is do what's necessary and get it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Whatever it is you're trying to do is that simple. Just get it.
My own trainer, Rob, he had a saying, he took a spin-off Floyd Mayweather saying, hard work is easy work, and he added easy work is cheating. And he's like, you're done. He didn't tell me exactly what you said, but when I would work out with him and he'd put me through, God knows, what's the word? I can't even think. Whatever. He would put me through the ringer. There it is. He would put me through the workouts. I'll be like, dude, I can't do this. He's like, yo, hard work is easy work. Easy work's cheating. You just got to cheat. It's easy. Get it done. Get it done. I was like, all right, we'll get it done. I got no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
But, dude, Joseph, I appreciate your time. Tell everyone where they can find you, your music. Obviously, most people listening, you're probably here for Joseph, so but for the people that don't, where can they find you everywhere?
Yeah. So you can find me pretty much everywhere at It's Joseph Allen, Joseph Allen Official on Facebook. And then, my music is sold everywhere music is sold. Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify. And, it's available for pre-order right now. And it's everywhere December 23rd, baby.
December 23rd. Everyone's heard it. Hope you guys like the video. Be sure to like and comment and give Joseph a follow. Follow what he's doing. Follow his brand. Follow Attempt Impossible, even though he's not really branding it right now. Give it on Instagram. Give Attempt Impossible a follow and support this journey because this young man deserves it. And you never know. He might be what Denzel Washington was to Chadwick Boseman. He may be that to you. So, give it a follow. But once again, Joseph, I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you very much for coming out for us.
Yes, sir. All right. Love you, dude. Talk to you later, man.
Love you too.
All right.